Hello YouTubers, welcome to canning white and red potatoes. This is my first attempt at it, and the first thing I wanted to make sure I had was I did pick a few white ones this morning, and I wanted to see how many jars I was going to need, so I weighed up the potatoes. First I go ahead and I'll weigh the jar so I'll know how much weight I have in there. If you'll watch the scales, the jar weighs 1 pound. Now let's set the jar on there with the potatoes and see how much the potatoes weigh. And as you can see, the scales, it weighs 2 pounds now, so there's a pound of potatoes in there. I've weighed the potatoes and I've got 6 pounds, so I'm figuring 6 jars, but I'm going to go ahead and do 7 just in case. And I'll show you all the potatoes that I picked this morning. It came from 8 plants. These are small now, but that's because they're new potatoes, and I like new potatoes. They're really good for soups. They're different sizes, and but I think this will work out pretty good. This is the garden box that I built. It's full of mulch, and as you can tell, potatoes, there wasn't very many. Just this one dead spot there of earth is where I pulled them up this morning. Now these are the ones we got up that were the red potatoes. They didn't seem to grow near as deep. The red potatoes didn't. The white ones, I really had to get down in there, and we didn't get as many reds as we did whites, but they'll still be good, and we're going to keep them separate. And that was my main reason for doing it. I wanted to see, which ones were the easiest to take and can, and then next year I'll know how to plant, or which ones I want to plant. And I kind of want to see how they respond. I'm going to cook them both the same way. I'm going to pack the jars a little different, but I'm going to use the same times in my pressure cooker. And also, if you'll notice that this is being pulled up, and we'll take all this green foliage and put it in the mulch bin, or the compost pile. And tomorrow, I could go right back out there and plant my peanuts, and I've still got 4 months for the peanuts to grow in there. And if potatoes did this good in there, the peanuts ought to do really good too, because it's well-drained soil. As you can see here, Tina was digging down deep trying to find some more red ones, and they just were not down there. They almost all came up with the root system. Can't have enough water. Let me tell you, you just cannot have enough water to do this. Now, here we cleaned them, separated them, and took the whites from the reds so that we can kind of get an idea of what we're doing here as we go through this process. Like I say, water. You're going to use a lot of it. Now, we did blanch these in hot water and then cooled them with ice to get the skins off best we could, but you can still tell the difference between the whites and the reds. Now, here's where I took the jars and actually just sterilized them so that we would have the jars, completely sterilized. Now, if you'll notice, in this one here, she's actually dipping the potatoes out, the white potatoes, and putting them in the jars with a ladle. Now, this took a lot longer time than just dry packing them. And when we do the reds, we dry pack them. I did end up with 7 jars, and I've got my instructions and everything on my canner, so I went ahead and got it all together and got my stuff together. But like I say, you have to have so much water in this process that if you're using big pots and pans, you can't get them on a little stove. Several people said lemon juice. That helps with the color, keeps them from losing their color as they're sitting in the jars. Now, Tina's getting all the air bubbles out there. Now, there's the red ones after we'd blanched them. Here's my 10-pound weight. That's what it called for. After I get air coming out the top, then I'll place the weight on there. More water, as you can see. Next time I think I'll take my fish cooker, and I've got a very large pot, and I'll keep some hot water going outside on the patio with it. And again, like I say, this is the 10-pound weight. I believe we did these for 35 minutes. Now here's where she's dry packing the red potatoes. And see, she's not using the ladle, so she can do it a lot faster. And actually, she can get more in there because she can actually push them with her fingers because it's not so hot. She's not counting them. She's trying to get them in there, and that's why one at a time, shaking the jar will do it. If you don't, you'll get them. She takes a little bitty ones and try to fill in the spots. Okay, now it's time to take out the white potatoes. The first batch of them are done. Like I say, 35 minutes at 10 pounds pressure. And then let it cool on its own. That takes about another 30 to 35 minutes, something like that, for it to cool. Really want to be careful here. I thought I had already cracked one of the jars. It just appeared that way. I don't think I did. I'll have to check it after they cool tomorrow. But be very careful. As you can see, that's bubbling inside those jars. You drop something like that and you're going to get burnt. Now here's the water. That's the pan of water she used to ladle over those red potatoes. She's also putting more lemon juice. In this batch, we only had 5 jars. She's putting her lids on, taking them out of there, or putting her ring on now. Just snug it up. It's kind of hot. There we go. Now she's got it together. Now she's going to tighten it up just a little bit, not too much, and we'll set it over in the water bath, or set it over in the pressure canner. See, there's another container to the left there that I had even more water in. These are the white ones. They're done. They're cooling. I heard every lid pop within about an hour from the time I set them out. The front rows has got the reds. You can see the little pink tint to them. They got a little tint to them that the whites didn't have. Did them both the same way. I was really concerned about them turning to mush, and I did not want that to happen. So thank you guys for watching.